As you look forwards to the world of work and the future of HR, what is some of your thinking about how the world of work is going to change and how HR needs to evolve?
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite topics right now, Simon, and there's a lot of conversation about AI and what's happening with deep learning, and I pay attention to that, and certainly am very intrigued, and I think AI is going to be a bit of a game changer, but I don't buy into the fear around it. When you think about AI as being the displacer for work or the displacer of people, yes, there will be jobs affected, and I don't mean to diminish that, but if you actually look across the last couple decades, the only job category that has grown more than what we call non-routine analytics work, which is kind of the AI body of work, the STEM areas of work, are the social skills. And if you really look, it's kind of been hidden, underneath all the rave about artificial intelligence. Social skills continue to grow in demand, and they've actually, while the size is not as great, they've outpaced the growth rate in some of these analytical spaces. So what that says to me is, as a leading indicator, is we need people to connect other people to technology, and we need people who can connect technology to technology. So I really believe that understanding the social fabric inside of an organization, understanding how network dynamics play out inside of an organization is going to be one of the more critical areas for HR moving forward. Very succinctly stated, I believe that we're entering into the era of social capital, and I believe we're going to be spending as much time talking about social capital as we do human capital today.
So technology really being an enabler to that.
Absolutely.
Now, I know in your work, you've done a lot of work around innovation and agility.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more about how can HR leaders really harness innovation and agility in their roles?
Yeah, so the one thing I think about HR is HR is uniquely positioned inside of organizations to enable this type of interaction, these types of interactions. So in the book I talk about 4 types of connections. I talk about discovery, I talk about development, I talk about diffusion, and then ultimately disruption. And I think HR is the grand facilitator of those, I'll call them social arrangements. HR is uniquely positioned to be able to arrange people, or at least challenge business leaders to arrange people to go do discovery, and to prohibit organizations from becoming insular and missing the next big thing that's emerging around them. HR then can really help people to get into what I describe, or Amazon calls, 2 pizza teams. And those 2 pizza teams are phenomenal at bringing things into the world. They're really, really good at moving fast. They're small, agile teams of 6 to 8 people that are really good at developing. And they iterate, they test, they experiment, and they bring things into the world. So you can discover new ideas, but if you can't get those ideas built out in such a way that they're meaningful and brought to life, they're useless. And then finally, you've got to get those ideas diffused across the broader organization. If you've got a great new idea and it's in one pocket of the organization, that provides no scalable value to the overall enterprise. So I think HR can help to facilitate diffusion. They can help to facilitate creating bridge connections. We'll be thinking about talent moves that are as much about moving people and thinking about who they're bringing from a network standpoint or a relationship standpoint into their new role than we are just what they bring from a human capital standpoint. So I think HR has this enormous role in front of us as we're thinking about really challenging an organization to move away from the one-size-fits-all model, which I describe oftentimes, which we love, which is organizational charts and sort of a single-size competency model, and moving us much more towards these sort of agile flow models where sometimes we're in discovery, sometimes we're in development, and other times we're in diffusion. And those all add up to this positive disruption.